another 2 weekends of canvassing the neighborhood here in Willowdale. Unsurprisingly, the results are very similar to all of my previous canvasses, with a few exceptions. Let's go ahead and jump right in. At this point, I sound like a broken record, but the cost of living is on everyone's minds. Particularly, a lot of young people felt very helpless and stuck living with their parents or stuck living with many roommates. Some were even outright thinking about moving out of Canada, perhaps the US or Europe. Young people are often seen as a country's future, but when so many are talking about leaving or outright leaving, that's gotta be frightening for a nation. Young people did what they were told. They went to school, they got good grades, volunteered, and have good jobs. Yet, with the rampant car thieves and also the increased, uncontrolled cost of living, the hopes and dreams of many millennials and Gen Z of having a better life than their parents is quickly becoming an unachievable reality. On the other hand, there are also seniors who complained about the rising cost of living and how their fixed pensions were not able to keep up with the costs. The inflation has eroded the purchasing power of many seniors and their fixed income pensions. One other senior told me about how he couldn't afford to pay his property taxes anymore because he's also on a fixed income. Property taxes are, of course, a municipal issue, but I will listen to people if they want to voice their concerns to me. What stood out this time was that some people were asking about the environmental plans and about climate change. My understanding is the carbon tax is a tax plan and not an environmental plan. It's also supposed to be revenue neutral, but it's not. The tax has been around for 7 years now, and it's constantly increasing. Yet the revenues generated from this tax have also not been put forward to encouraging companies to developing more environmental-friendly alternatives. Generally speaking, the people who do support the environmental policies of the Liberals seem to be doing pretty well in life. I do find that quite often people who are doing better in life and are in a more comfortable position have the time and capacity to think about things like the environment or other social issues. But the sad reality is, for a lot of young people who come from middle-class families or even lower, they don't have the luxury to think about this kind of thing. Many instead are thinking about how to get ahead in life, how to get promoted at their work, or find better paying work, or how to update their skills to find better work. It's no wonder that Mr. Pierre Poilievre's favorite saying, "axe the tax," is resonating with so many voters. It's because people want to pay less in taxes and fees because everything else has become so expensive. I've also gone on record giving a disposition against the property tax hikes on the municipal level, just as a private citizen. Some detractors will often ask, "What's your solution?" I do have a couple of solutions. Aside from the already popular axe the tax, build the homes, stop the crime, and fix the budget, here are my ideas. Implementing better checks and measures to stop money laundering, because criminals have to wash their dirty money to enter into our clean system with their cash. The housing issue should be tackled by all 3 levels of government. But the one thing that the federal government can do is to index the amount of newcomers to the amount of available infrastructure, as the leader of the opposition has proposed. This is to ensure that we have enough homes, hospitals, schools, and other facilities for people to use once they arrive in this country. It's common sense, if we don't have enough of these facilities, that we ought to look at the demand side of this equation. Otherwise, you create the environment for absurd conditions to happen, as shown prominently on Slumlords Canada subreddit, where there are ridiculous arrangements for the renting of not just a room in a house or an apartment, but a single bed in a room for a few $100s a month. With regards to grocery prices, introducing competition seems to be the natural way to get the prices to stabilize or to even lower. But right now, the conditions are not set for an international grocer to do business in Canada. It is simply not attractive enough, and there are too much red tape preventing them from entering the market smoothly and making a profit. Let's remove obvious red tape that needs to be removed so that businesses can find it an easier time to either start in Canada or come do business in Canada, especially in the grocery sector. This video encompasses some of my observations and also some of my ideas that I wish to bring to Ottawa. If anything I've said here interests you, please visit my socials or my website and find out how you can support me.